on this medal around my neck is an award-winning beer. It's our hazy session New England IPA. I've already said once.
Yeah.
And it won gold in the US Beer Open last year, which we were amazed by. Quite a prestigious event in the beer community.
Yeah.
But enough about me and my awards. Yeah, too many awards.
What's good, y'all? This is C-Certified Brewhead, and welcome to another Stay Home and Drink Craft Beer with Me vlog here on BAOS this evening. As you might have just seen at the start of this video, we are doing something fun tonight, or we just did something fun. Our good mates at Nickel Brook had an event, something that I kind of feel like I've seen similar things, but this is the first one we've ever participated in. It was called A Night with Nickel Brook. And basically what it was a bunch of people will purchase a batch of beer, and we have them right here in front of us. And we had the head brewer, Ben, and another gentleman, Liam, who worked for Nickel Brook, I guess in marketing or something, and they basically talked through 6 of their core range beers. Some of them are new, or at least one of them specifically was brewed during this period, and it was really fun. There was probably, I don't know, 100, 200 people in there. There's a decent amount of people in the Zoom. So it was like a Zoom thing, a Zoom meeting where they just talked, everyone was muted or whatever. So we had a bunch of different stuff. I had everything except 2 beers. So we started with the Cause and Effect Blonde, something, I guess I drank this for my beer review years ago.
Nice.
I couldn't even remember the last time I had that shit.
You don't remember what number that was?
Oh man, it would have been in the early, because I was drinking Nickel Brook in 2011.
Oh, forever,
we visited Nickel Brook. So these guys have been around for me as far as like Canadian craft beer since the beginning. This is a gateway beer. You know, it's beautiful for that. It's perfect. A lot of these are gateway beers actually, which I realized, and I hadn't had these for quite some time. So it was cool to just kind of see that. We also did Lost in Orbit. This is a new one. Their session IPA. It's kind of the New England style. This is really, really good. I think this is also, it's sort of nice and tropical, touch of bitterness. It'll get people in from macro beers into craft for something like that. Now, both this one and their, this is their New England IPA, Wicked Awesome. Both of these were in their mystery pack. When was that? I want to say 2017 or 2018.
Yeah, it might have even been 2017.
Right? It feels like a while ago. So they did this where they put beer A, B, C, D, 4 beers, and you had to vote from them on their website. So this one won, of course, and I think this one came in pretty close. So they made them both and gave them permanent SKUs. One of the newer beers was this one. This was the Hang Tight and Oat Pale Ale. This was really, really good, actually. They made this one specifically for the pandemic time, hence Hang Tight. They said it was their fastest selling beer ever, which I thought was super cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, I'd seen people post about this online, but this was super solid.
My theory is this also aligns with a brewer that we were speaking to.
Yep.
Mentioned about like how busy they were getting in their core line. I know this is not a core beer, but it's a brewery that people know and trust. Mm-hmm. It's like know, like, and trust. So I feel like during these times,
we talked about
you just gravitate towards the people you know and have trusted forever, and you're like, okay, they always make a good beer. Let me just go and buy all of their stuff, because you don't want to take risks. So you're like, let me just go with beers I know are going to be fantastic, and I guess that's a good example. Like, that could be a reason why it sells out so fast, because like, oh great, Nickel Brook has a beer, I trust them.
It's a new one.
It's going to be great, and it's a new one, sure.
Sick.
Yeah.
It's like like all these other labels are either they're printed on the can or they got a wrap. This is printed on the can, actually.
Yeah, I love that label. It's very cool.
This is like the paper, the paper label that is typically, and the empty at the top and the bottom, generally for smaller run.
Yeah, small
So
runs.
I think Nickel Brook, a brewery of their sort of size, have been around for so long, doing something like this, particularly of this style. And I think they do haze for introductory haze. This is not like beer nerd haze. None of this stuff is. But it's important, and we talked about this a lot, it's really important that breweries are doing this type of stuff, and they just don't get their sort of props, really, because these are the beers that convert people over to craft, not the crazy shit that we all drink, right? So I think that's super dope. What else did we do? Oh yeah, I hadn't had that one, and I hadn't had this one either. Zap, their sour IPA. This is quite good. It kind of just tastes like a kettle sour more so than an IPA. I don't really know. Maybe there's certain specific things, I don't recall them sort of saying, but maybe because it's hopped more like an IPA, but this was really, really good. I'd heard fantastic things. And they also did their Cheeky Bastard, their Session Stout, 4.5%. All of their big dogs, so this is the Bastard series. They got the Kentucky Bastard, and we're going to do a podcast shortly with Noah from Beerers, and we're going to be drinking their Cafe del Bastardo, their coffee stout version of the big boy. It's like 11%. They have what else they have. We had Winey Bastard the other night. I know.
Yeah, that was great
because it was a wine beer.
Yeah,
that one was lit, and they do some other versions of it, I think, which is super cool. Just a really good series. So I thought this whole concept was cool. Saw a bunch of people in the Zoom chat that we knew, and it was nice to see some familiar faces, and just like a cool event that. Oh, there's the oven. Just a cool event that the scene or just beer fans could just sort of gather around. I saw some people I knew who were beer nerds to people who were clearly kind of newer to it and asking questions in the chat that were newer. I thought it was just a really cool initiative.
Yeah.
I think it was dope. It was only $45 for these 6 beers. I don't know. They gave us an extra, which I don't know if we're going to drink at the podcast, but the Ubers. I love their Ubers, their sour series. So I'm not sure if that was for us for the sake of it or if that was part of it that people got but just wasn't part of the tasting. But yeah, I hope they do more things like this. I think this is a really great way.
They might do one for Father's Day. They mentioned.
They did say.
So
and that was in June, right?
That's June.
This is May right now. So if they do it again, maybe like something monthly, I think is dope. But now they've gone through their. If they do it with the same beers, I feel like they won't get repeat visitors.
Yeah.
But if they switch it up and try some of the new stuff, and I know Nickel Brook are prolific, they definitely be able to populate 6 beers of.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless they brew it all now just for it or something. But I thought that was really cool. That was just a really dope initiative. I enjoyed that. I thought it was
creative, really.
Creative and fun. Yeah. And I like the way they promoted it. I like their vibe. I've always loved Nickel Brook. They've always had a soft spot for me. I've always said that. And they're one of our favorite.
And you've always had a soft spot for them.
What'd I say?
They've always had a soft spot for me.
Hey, maybe they do. Maybe they do.
They might.
That's a good one. I'm glad you picked that up. I
was like, wait a second. I don't feel like that's how that goes.
No, that's not it. I've always had a soft spot for Nickel Brook just because when we did, I think we've talked about it in a podcast a long time ago, Scott and I went in 2011 and they, I believe his name was John Romano. I know there's Peter, but I think both of them own it. And he just gave us we just popped in and wanted to buy, we just give us like, each of us buy one of everything, please, like type of thing. And they had a bunch even back then. And they took us on a private tour of the brewery. That was the first time that ever happened for us. And we were just like, yo, wow, this is dope. Like, they were just so cool. And then also to see their branding grow over the years, like the quality of their labels and their logo itself and the way they present their products. Like, they've been one of my favorite success stories in Canadian beer. We bring it up regularly. So, yeah, man, I'm going to enjoy these and we'll check back in shortly. Finished up a podcast. We did the Nickel Brook tasting, and then we did a podcast with Noah from Beerism. I am finishing off the Nickel Brook Cafe del Bastardo 2019. This is a coffee stout, 11%. It's exceptional. We actually drank some of the leftovers from the tasting because we did not crush all 6 beers in an hour. That's significant. So we brought those through to the podcast, and luckily Noah had one of these beers as well, which was great. So we had fantastic, very, very long chat, longest podcast since we've been in quarantine. And it was just really cool. It was really cool tonight to just go from a creative way for a brewery to connect with their audience, to have their head brewer and their other staff members talk to literally hundreds of people at once, share beers, talk it through. Like, they went through their flagship brands, but it was still some other beers I had. Out of the 6, there was 2 of them I hadn't had before, and I was watching the chat and other people were saying, oh, this was great, I've had the rest, but I haven't had these ones before. So I think a lot of people were in the same boat, but they might not have understood what a New England IPA was, or what made a blonde ale different from a Pilsner, things like that. And it was just a very creative execution, and it was very, very cool to be a part of that. So Nickel Brook, thank you guys so much. And it was great to be able to have this beer. It was actually sent last year from another pack that they sent us with a bunch of their big, big stouts and stuff. So I've still got a couple of those left, and this was a perfect situation to kind of rock that tonight. So that was a lot of fun. Tiff, you had a good time?
Great time. So much fun.
Yeah.
Love really Nickel Brook. Just great.
Huge fan.
Good people, consistent, great beers.
Yep, 100%. Exactly. So it was a lot of fun. We're going to hopefully keep seeing things like this coming from different breweries, whether it's in Ontario, Quebec, in the States, whatever. I know that some are doing a media version of that, which we have one coming up at the end of May with another brewery in Ontario. Actually, we're working on some stuff. I'm not going to say it just yet, but we're working on doing something somewhat similar in a collaboration with the brand as well, which should be fun. We'll probably do it as a part of a podcast to make it work even better. But I want to see more of these things happening. It looks like the quarantine's going to be happening for a little while longer, so, you know, let's continue these interactive events. They're really, really a lot of fun. So I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of my 11% stout.
Delicious.
So, it's out of control. I was actually...
I finished mine a long time ago.
I was sitting on it because I wanted to keep it for the photo. That was mainly it. But I'm going to enjoy this. Guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed our latest episode of Stay Home and Drink Craft Beer with me, smash the thumbs up, hit subscribe below, hit the notification bell.
Ding.
So you know when the new drops. Follow us on social media at BAOS Podcast. And check out the long form audio. All our podcasts, we've been doing these adjunct series from home. They're a lot of fun. Tiff and I hosting, and we last 3 weeks we've had guests. We basically are having guests going forward now, which is something that we didn't expect to do. But we are. So check us out. Make sure you hit the review, give us 5 stars, write a little rating or whatever the hell, whatever you can do. It's very, very helpful for us. That is it, guys. Stay home, stay safe, wash your hands, get in here.